The Department of Migrant Workers may just review the country's labor agreement with Kuwait. That's after another OFW was killed in the Mid-East nation-state. The Philippines plans to launch another protest against China after the Chinese Coast Guard drove away Filipino fishermen off the Ayungin Shoal. President Marcos says the approval of the Maharlika Investment Fund and the tempering of inflation will both take quite some time. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. The Department of Migrant Workers might review the Philippines' labor agreement with Kuwait following the brutal killing of another overseas Filipino worker. Migrant Workers Secretary Toots Oples said that they will reach out to the Kuwaiti government for the review of the 2018 bilateral labor agreement to better secure the OFWs there. 5 years ago, the two countries inked an agreement promising certain rights to Filipino workers, including the right to keep their passports and mobile phones, which are usually confiscated by their employers. However, Secretary Oples clarified that the recent killing of 35-year-old domestic worker Julebi Ranara will not lead to another deployment ban. The DMW also reported that Kuwaiti authorities have already arrested the 17-year-old son of Ranara's employer, who has been tagged as a suspect in the brutal murder. And the Philippine Consulate General in Los Angeles confirmed that a Filipino was among the fatalities in the mass shooting in Monterey Park, California. The victim was identified as Valentino Alvarez, 68 years old. The Consulate General offered his condolences and vowed to assist Alvarez's family. The shooting that killed at least 10 people happened during Lunar New Year festivities. The gunman was identified as 72-year-old Hu Can Tran, who fled after the attack and was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The killer's motive is still unknown, but reports suggest that Asian hate could be one reason for the crime. Here at home, President Bongbong Marcos is urging senators to take their time in scrutinizing the proposed Maharlika Investment Fund. Senate President Mig Zubiri earlier said that the Senate version of the measure could be passed after the Holy Week break, citing pressure from the president. But in a panel interview with members of the media, Marcos Jr. said that it's important for lawmakers to, quote, get it right.
Hindi naman dapat imadali dahil napaka-importante lahat ng mga bawat salita na ilalagay mo dun sa batas na yun. May kabuluhan yun. Hindi mo basta't pwedeng, tama na yan, okay na. We have to get it right. We cannot make that. That getting it wrong would be a very bad mistake.
Marcos also assures the public that the Maharlika Investment Fund will not be used as a vehicle for money laundering.
You cannot use funds of the GOCC. Pera ng gobyerno, what will the government spend? It was a proposal. It's not something that we have adopted. Hindi yun basta sige, bigyan niyo ako ng ilang bilyon dolyar, tapos lalagay lang akong bahala na dyan. It's not like that at all. And in fact, even on our end, we will only deploy funds when there is a very specific project to be paid for. So money laundering just won't come into it.
We're bringing you more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Foreign Affairs Department is planning to file a diplomatic protest on alleged harassment on Filipino fishermen by the Chinese Coast Guard. This happened off the Ayungin Shoal on January 9. In a statement, the DFA says they're just waiting for official reports from the military and other law enforcement agencies, which will serve as basis for the protest. The agency also notes that the Ayungin Shoal is well within the country's exclusive economic zone, which means Filipinos are free to exercise their fishing rights in the area. Meanwhile, the president is losing sleep over the high inflation rate. Recall that Marcos Jr. also said that the tension in the West Philippine Sea keeps him up at night. The president assures the public that the government is working to bring down commodity prices in the first quarter of the year. But he was also quick to clarify that this cannot be done overnight.
Yan ang problema kung hindi nagpapatulog sa akin yung inflation So I'm determined to bring down to make sure that the inflation starts to come down in the first quarter and mag-normalize na pagkatapos nun.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. SIM card wholesalers are complaining of low sales following the implementation of the SIM registration law. The DICT says that thousands of SIM cards remain unsold and are nearing expiration. The agency, though, assured that they are working with telcos to address the issue. The Philippine Statistics Authority reports that teenage pregnancies in the country have dipped to 5.4% in 2022. This is from 8.6% in 2017. And nominees for the 95th Academy Awards are out in just a few hours. The announcement will come from the Samuel Goldwyn Theater in Beverly Hills, California, and will be live streamed on the Oscars' social media platforms. Nominees for more than 20 categories are expected to be revealed, with the actual awards night happening on March 12th. And in sports, Gilas Pilipinas has begun training for the final window of the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers. Marty Bautista tells us more.
Gilas Pilipinas pool members got together for the first time to prepare for the sixth and final window of the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers slated next month. While the Philippines has secured a spot in the World Cup by being a co-host with Indonesia and Japan, the team is expected to go all out in the coming window. Last week, the 24-man pool was announced, with Barangay Ginebra import Justin Brownlee headlining the group. Brownlee had just become a naturalized Filipino, making him eligible to play for the national team.
This has been already a plan in waiting for quite a while, so we're all excited that he will finally get that opportunity, and I don't think you can keep him off this court.
Brownlee says he's excited to don the country's colors, even more so since the final window will be played at the Philippine Arena in Bulacan. His chemistry with PBA teammates and foes is also being anticipated. The 34-year-old has played with some of the pool members in the past 6 years of him being a PBA import.
I'm very familiar with their game, and it's good to be on the same side because they got some great weapons. You know, Poigoy, he's got a really incredible shot. Of course, we all know how good Jumar is and CJ. So, just very excited to play alongside those guys. You know, we've been going against them for years now. I think it's going to be fun.
Aside from Gilas vets, some young bloods have also been named in the pool, like UAAP standouts Jerome Lastimosa of Adamson Falcons and Shoni Winston and Kevin Cambao of the De La Salle Green Archers.
Well, first of all, this is my first time na makasama sa Gilas Pilipinas. So, sobrang saya kasi nakasama ko yung mga PBA players, iba-ibang players, yung mga dati kong kalaban sa UAAP.
Mason Amos, the youngest in the pool, meanwhile expressed his gratitude for having the chance to play with some of the best PBA players. He most looked forward to matching up with Ginebra forward Japeth Aguilar, whom the Phil Aussie said he's been watching for a long time now. Amos, 18, is set to play for the Ateneo Blue Eagles once he reaches college.
He's the same position as me, but yeah, I work hard against him on the court, but off the court, I learn as much as I can from them.
Gilas trainings will be held on Mondays to prepare for the games on February 24 and 27. For News 5, Marty Bautista, We Are One News.
And for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News. All sides, all the time.